How does Switzerland decide which Rolex ADs get which Rolex models?
Really simple answer to that one, supply and demand. If a AD, say in New York, is selling 100 Rolexes a week, let's say, okay, this is just random numbers, of course. And then our AD here in Montreal is selling 10. Who do you think is going to get more watches weekly or monthly?
I would assume New York.
Of course. And so that's how it works, basically. The allocation is based on supply and demand. It's simple. Certain markets are way larger than other markets. A great example of that is with AP in Canada. I'm not sure if you knew this, but in 2020, AP actually withdrew all of the authorized boutiques in Canada. So there's nowhere that you could go anywhere in Canada to buy an AP at retail. That was solely based on supply and demand.
Okay, so I'm not in the market for an AP, so I didn't know that, but that's super interesting.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean,
like you're basically giving the shaft to an entire country, like just no watches for you.
It's a numerical thing, right? It's a profit thing. These are businesses at the end of the day. And it just didn't make AP's nut to sell in Canada when they sold way more watches in the States. And the States is a huge market. And it's the same thing for Rolex, right? There's a reason why it's harder to get watches in Canada generally than it is in the States. It's actually surprising to a lot of people, but people assume, oh, okay, I'll come to Canada. Americans, sometimes I hear, come to Canada to buy watches at retail, thinking, well, it's Canada, so they have less population, they have less ultra wealthy population in general. The median income is smaller here, so it's probably going to be an easier time to get these watches at list.
Right.
Incorrect. It's actually a lot harder because we don't have the same allocation numbers, right? And think population too. The States is 350 million people, or is it more now?
But it's still not that black and white. Like if, for example, somebody really wanted a Rolex Daytona, the answer is not simply go to the States because they get more Daytonas, because they get more Rolexes, because they sell more Rolexes.
No.
Because there's also a higher demand there.
Yeah.
So you could argue the chances of you getting one here are just as dismal as getting one over there. Even though there's more watches over there.
You'd think that, but from what I've seen in my experience with the amount of spend that I've seen people go through jewelry stores to get the Daytonas here in Canada, I'd say it's actually easier in the States. Now, it's harder in places like Switzerland, where you have, an ultra wealthy class, which is all going after the same stuff. It's way harder there, right? But no, man, it's a funny thing of supply and demand, where the States is a huge market. They get allocated a ton of watches. You also have the Saudi Arabian market, which gets allocated a ton of watches. You have European markets, but really I'd say China, US, Saudi Arabia are actually the biggest markets with the most allocation for brands like Rolex.
Okay, noted.
Yeah. So move if you want it.